Hello and welcome back to Ross Taylor Woodworks. I've got some dining room chairs here that need a little tightening up. I've already glued the arms back in place. Put a new screw in through the arm here. And tightened up the arms. Re-glued the dowel joint here and put up some glue here and some new screws in the arms. And these joints are just slightly loose. And these glue blocks are very solidly glued in place. So to try to take this apart and take the joints apart, it would do a lot of damage. So I'm going to do something a little different here. Instead of trying to glue them, I'm going to tighten them up with some new screws. Okay, these are Ethan Allen chairs. And they originally had these screws in the corner. And these are a square drive screw. And I could easily tighten up the joints if I could tighten these screws a little bit more, but I can't get enough torque on the screws to be able to tighten the joint up. So I'm going to do is substitute these with some 1/4 inch lag bolts. They're the exact same length, a little thicker threads on them. So what I'm going to first do is drill a larger hole here to accept the lag bolt. But I don't want to drill into the post. I want the threads to bite into the original screw hole. Okay, this is one of the side chairs. And I've already done the bolts in here. And it worked perfectly. These back joints were very, very loose. And now, solid as could be. And this is very much like doing a farm table with bolt-on legs. The leg is drawn in tightly against the aprons, and if it ever loosens up, you can just tighten the bolt a little bit more. Okay, first I'm going to drill out the hole a little bit bigger. Just through the glue block. I don't want to drill into the leg. And just snug it up, and the joint is nice and tight. And it only took a minute to do that instead of trying to tear the whole chair apart. Okay, we got all 4 bolts in place. The chair is nice and solid. Now, one thing to note: this is a modern Ethan Allen chair. This is not an antique chair. So this was perfectly acceptable to do this. So just substituting one screw for another. Now, an antique chair would not have screws like this, so you would not add a screw or try to tighten legs with a screw. You'd always take the chairs apart. In that case, generally the glue blocks are all loose, so it's very easy to get the glue blocks out and knock a chair apart. But since these glue blocks are very solidly glued in place, it would have done a lot of damage to try to chisel these out and pull the joints apart.